So when I went to sleep, it was a very different falling asleep process in that, I saw the stars and all of this going on, and it was a weird falling asleep experience. But then the next thing I knew, and the next thing I can remember is I was levitating above my city. Like I was above my city. There's a river, the Penobscot River, was pretty close to my house. I lived pretty close to downtown. And so I was levitating above my city. And then the next thing I remember is I was seeing all of the trauma that I experienced as a child, but understanding it as an adult, as a 50-something-year-old female. And it was horrifying to me because it was explaining why I always felt so uncomfortable with my foster family, what their motives were in behind things that happened. And, I was always made to feel guilty because this is what we're doing for you, so you should be thankful. But at the same time, there was abuse, there was SA, there were a lot of things, but there was also a strong motive. And all of that was explained to me in this first part of my experience. And so much so that the next part was, I remember going into this huge room, and part of what was explained to me was the mean things they had done to my real grandmother, my birth grandmother, who died the month I turned 18, who I still had a relationship with, even though I didn't live with her. And when I went into this large room, all these people came in, and she was coming in as well. It was like she was being pushed in a wheelchair, but I don't remember the wheelchair. But I looked at her like, really? Of what I was told. And she just shook her head, yes. Yes, that was true. And the next part was I was like having a conversation with God. I was like in heaven, but I didn't want to see my foster mother. Like I didn't want to see her. I didn't want to be reunited with her. And I was told I wouldn't be, that she went to hell for what she did to me. So then I was asking, well, am I going to see Kenny? Kenny was my high school sweetheart who died in a car accident. He was 19 and I was 17. And they were like, yes, you're going to see Kenny. And I'm like, am I going to see my mother? And am I going to see Lori, a friend of mine who died of breast cancer? And then I was like, am I going to see Princess Diana? And am I going to see all my dogs? I was just so excited about, am I going to see all these people? And the answer was yes. And I remember it was like this bright, beautiful, calm place. You can't really describe exactly what it was, if that makes sense. Because I was just focusing on, I got to see Kenny. Then in the conversation, again, this conversation seemed to be a lot of things. Like I was asking a lot of questions. I always had a lot of questions as a child about religion. So one of my questions was, which religion is right? I'd always had that question. And God said, it isn't the religion, it's the belief. It's the belief in God that's right. And it's not just believing in God that brings you to heaven. You still have to be a good person and walk with faith and whatnot. And then he explained, because I have a huge passion for music. And he said, yes, that people that have a musical gift, they are gifts that he gives them. And the songs that people connect with are actually gifts from him, where he's speaking to people during their most trying times or enjoyable times. And so it was all this reminders of, yes, things that I've felt, it was true, that people are given God-given gifts for a reason, that music is published for a reason, like certain songs come into your life at certain times for a reason. But then we'll get back to Kenny. So I was so excited to be reunited with him. And then I was asked, do you want to see him as he would be now if he had lived and to be your age now? Or do you want to go back to being 17 and have him being 19 when, the age that he died? And I was thinking about it and I couldn't quite decide. And then I was given, or do you want to go back? And I chose to go back. And I chose to go back